Our first chilling tale takes us to the infamous Amityville horror house. Nestled in the heart of suburban Long Island, this unassuming Dutch colonial residence has a history that would make even the bravest souls shudder. It all began on a cold night in November of 1974, when a gruesome crime took place within these walls, forever staining its history with a touch of the macabre. Fast forward 1 year to 1975. Enter the Lutz family, George and Kathy, along with their 3 children, who were blissfully unaware of the house's chilling past. Shortly after moving in, the family began to experience unexplainable phenomena. Objects moved on their own, doors slammed shut without a breeze in sight, and an inexplicable chill pervaded the house, even in the heart of summer. George Lutz reported waking at 3:15 every morning, the exact time the previous year's murders were believed to have occurred. Kathy, on the other hand, had nightmares of the murders, visions so vivid they seemed almost real. The children weren't spared from the haunting either, with their toys moving on their own, and an unseen entity leaving them terrified. But perhaps the most terrifying of all were the red glowing eyes that peered in through the windows, eyes that belonged to no known creature. Despite their attempts to cleanse the house, the disturbances continued, escalating to a point where the family had no choice but to leave. After a mere 28 days, the Lutz family fled, leaving behind their belongings, their dream home, and a tale that would go down in the annals of paranormal history. The Amityville horror house has since become a beacon for ghost hunters and thrill seekers alike, its story adapted into books and films, further cementing its place in the world of the supernatural. Skeptics may dismiss the occurrences as mere fabrications, but for those who have experienced it, the truth is far more terrifying. The Amityville horror house remains one of the most infamous haunted places in the world. And whether you believe in the supernatural or not, there's no denying the chilling aura that surrounds this ordinary-looking house on 112 Ocean Avenue. Next, we dare to summon the ghostly figure known as Bloody Mary. The legend of Bloody Mary has been whispered in hushed tones for centuries. This spectral apparition is shrouded in mystery, her origins as tangled and diverse as the countless tales that surround her. Some stories claim that Bloody Mary was a witch who was burned at the stake for dabbling in the dark arts. Others suggest that she was a bereaved mother, forever scouring the earth for her lost children. Regardless of her beginnings, her eerie presence is invoked through a chilling ritual that has been performed in front of mirrors across the globe. To summon Bloody Mary, one must stand before a mirror in a dimly lit room, chanting her name 3 times. It's said that she then appears in the reflection, a terrifying phantom with a blood-curdling stare. Some who've dared to perform the ritual claim to have seen her, while others have experienced strange phenomena, such as flickering lights or a sudden drop in temperature. The legend of Bloody Mary serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder that some things are better left undisturbed. She is a ghostly figure that exists in the shadows of our collective imagination. Her story passed down through generations, her presence felt in the quietest corners of the night. Bloody Mary continues to haunt the dreams of those brave, or foolish, enough to summon her. We journey next to Hampton Court Palace, home to a spectral grey lady. This grand old palace, steeped in royal history, is also the haunting ground of a ghostly figure known as the Grey Lady. Her tragic tale is as chilling as the cold stone corridors she's said to roam. Her real name was Sybil Penn, a devoted nurse to the royal children in the 16th century. Tragically, she succumbed to smallpox while caring for Prince Edward, leaving behind a legacy of loyalty and selflessness. But it's said that her spirit never left Hampton Court Palace. Now she wanders the halls, her spectral form a reminder of the palace's somber past. Over the years, there have been countless reported sightings of the Grey Lady. Palace staff and visitors alike have reported strange occurrences, unexplained cold spots, the distinct rustle of old-fashioned garments, and an eerie, disembodied voice humming lullabies. The most common sighting, however, is of a grey figure, moving silently through the palace's historic rooms and corridors. There are theories aplenty about why the Grey Lady haunts Hampton Court Palace. Some believe her spirit was disturbed when her tomb was moved during the 18th century. Others suggest she remains tied to the palace due to her dedication to the royal family, particularly the children she cared for. No one can say for certain why she lingers, but her presence adds an air of mystery and intrigue to the palace. In the dead of night, when the palace grounds are silent and the moon casts long, foreboding shadows, one might feel a sudden chill, hear the faint rustling of a dress, or catch a glimpse of a grey figure in the corner of their eye. That, dear listeners, is the Grey Lady of Hampton Court Palace, forever etched into the fabric of this historic place. Her haunting presence serves as a chilling reminder of the palace's rich history. The palace isn't just a monument to the grandeur of past monarchs. It's also a testament to the people who served them, like Sybil Penn, whose spirit continues to roam its hallowed halls. The Grey Lady's tale adds a chilling layer to the history of Hampton Court Palace. Venture with us now into the forests of Japan, where the slit-mouthed woman lurks. Hidden amidst the ancient trees and sacred shrines, a horrifying legend has thrived for centuries, the legend of the Kuchisake Onna. The tale tells of a woman with a mouth torn from ear to ear, a ghastly sight concealed by a surgical mask. Her disfigured appearance is not just a result of a heinous act of violence, but an eternal punishment for her vanity. A once beautiful woman, her life took a sinister turn when her jealousy-fueled husband mutilated her face, transforming her into the slit-mouthed woman. She is said to roam the streets of Japan, approaching unsuspecting passers-by with a chilling question: "Am I beautiful?" Before they can answer, she reveals her grotesque grin, sending shivers down their spine. Answer no, and she takes your life swiftly. Answer yes, and she'll render you a mirror image of her horrific visage. The Kuchisake Onna is more than just a ghost story. It's a dark tale of jealousy, betrayal, and the monstrous transformation of a woman wronged. It serves as a grim testament to the price of vanity and the destructive power of envy. The forests of Japan echo with whispers of this gruesome tale, a chilling narrative that has become an integral part of the country's folklore. This terrifying figure continues to haunt the Japanese folklore, a grim reminder of a gruesome past. Our journey takes us now to Sleepy Hollow, where the Headless Horseman rides. In the quiet town of Sleepy Hollow, nestled in the heart of New York, a chilling legend has echoed through the centuries. The spectre of a headless horseman, ferociously galloping through the night, has struck terror into the hearts of the townsfolk. This ghastly apparition, known as the Headless Horseman, is said to be the ghost of a Hessian soldier who lost his head to a stray cannonball during the Revolutionary War. Now, trapped between the realms of the living and the dead, the soldier roams the streets at night, searching for his missing head. It's said that he rides a massive black steed and wields a flaming pumpkin as a stand-in for his lost head. His eerie presence is often heralded by the thunderous sound of hooves pounding the cobblestone streets and the chilling sight of his fiery pumpkin illuminating the darkness. According to the legend, the horseman is a ruthless hunter. He preys on those who dare to wander the streets of Sleepy Hollow after nightfall. His victims, paralyzed by fear, can do little more than watch in horror as the headless apparition races towards them, and in the blink of an eye, they vanish, never to be seen again. The origins of this terrifying tale trace back to the early days of the American colonies. It was first recorded by Washington Irving in his short story, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Irving's tale, published in 1820, introduced the ghastly figure of the Headless Horseman to the world. Since then, the story has been retold countless times, with each rendition adding a new layer of terror to the legend. The tale of the Headless Horseman remains a classic in American horror lore. From books to movies, this ghastly ghoul continues to captivate and terrify audiences around the world. So if you ever find yourself wandering the streets of Sleepy Hollow after dark, remember, the Headless Horseman is never far behind. Next, we explore the haunted Bell Witch Cave in Tennessee. This cave, shrouded in mystery and terror, is the setting for one of the most chilling tales of paranormal activity in the United States. The story begins in the early 19th century with the Bell family. They were living a peaceful life on their farm, until one day, strange occurrences began to plague them. They reported seeing peculiar animals around the property, hearing unexplained noises, and feeling an icy cold presence that seemed to linger in the air. As the incidents grew more terrifying, the family soon identified their tormentor, a vengeful spirit they named the Bell Witch. This was not your average ghost story. The Bell Witch was said to physically and verbally assault members of the family, particularly the patriarch, John Bell, who eventually succumbed to the relentless haunting. The cave on the Bell property, now known as the Bell Witch Cave, is said to be the epicenter of this supernatural activity. Visitors to the cave have reported a range of eerie experiences. Some have heard the faint sound of a woman's laughter echoing through the caverns, while others have felt an uncanny sensation of being watched. Even more disturbing are accounts of individuals who have found themselves momentarily paralyzed or unable to speak while inside the cave. The legend of the Bell Witch has permeated local folklore, with many believing that the spirit still resides in the cave. Paranormal investigators have flocked to the site, armed with recording devices and cameras, hoping to catch a glimpse of the infamous witch. Some have even claimed to capture ghostly voices and unexplainable phenomena on their equipment. Despite the passage of over 200 years, the chilling tales of the Bell Witch continue to resonate, attracting thrill-seekers and skeptics alike. The Bell Witch Cave, with its dark history and eerie atmosphere, remains a haunting testament to this enduring legend. The Bell Witch Cave continues to be a chilling destination for those brave enough to seek the supernatural. We move south to Mexico, where the sorrowful ghost of La Llorona roams. The tale of La Llorona, or the Weeping Woman, is one that has been whispered in hushed tones for centuries. It's a chilling narrative that has seeped deep into the fabric of Mexican folklore, passed down from generation to generation, each retelling more haunting than the last. The story of La Llorona is steeped in sorrow and regret. It tells of a beautiful woman named Maria, who, in a fit of blind rage and jealousy, drowned her 2 children in a river. When the veil of anger lifted and the grim reality of her actions dawned on her, Maria was consumed with despair. Overwhelmed by her grief, she threw herself into the same river, hoping to join her children in the afterlife. But death did not bring Maria the peace she sought. Instead, she was condemned to roam the earth as the Weeping Woman, La Llorona. Cursed to wander for eternity, she searches desperately for her lost children, her mournful cries echoing through the night. It's said that her haunting wails bring misfortune to those who hear them, a chilling reminder of the tragic fate that befell her. The origins of La Llorona's legend are as murky as the river's depths where she met her end. Some say it's a cautionary tale, warning against the dangers of unchecked jealousy and rage. Others believe it's a tale spun to keep children away from dangerous bodies of water. Regardless of its origins, the story of La Llorona has become a cornerstone of Mexican culture, a chilling tale that continues to captivate and terrify. As night falls and the moon takes its place in the sky, listen closely. Can you hear it? The distant sound of a woman weeping, her cries carried on the wind. It's La Llorona, the Weeping Woman, forever searching for her lost children. Her haunting cries continue to echo in the night, a chilling reminder of her tragic tale. We now journey to Scotland's Edinburgh Castle, a place teeming with ghostly apparitions. This centuries-old fortress, perched atop a craggy hill, is a stronghold of spectral activity. Its ancient stone walls hold tales of phantom soldiers and tortured spirits, each with a story bound to the castle's tumultuous history. Let's start with the tale of the Phantom Piper. Legend has it that a piper once ventured into the castle's underground tunnels. He played his bagpipes to guide his path, but halfway through the music abruptly stopped, and he was never seen again. To this day, visitors report hearing the faint sound of bagpipes echoing from the depths of the castle. Then there's the headless drummer boy. First seen on the eve of Oliver Cromwell's attack in 1650, his appearance is said to foretell danger. While his drumming is seldom heard, the chilling image of a headless boy marching to a silent beat is enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. Among the castle's many spectres, the most pitiful might be the tortured souls from the dungeons. Prisoners from the War of Independence between England and Scotland were held in these grim cells. Their anguished cries and clanking chains are often heard in the dead of night, a haunting reminder of their suffering. But not all spirits here are of a malevolent nature. The ghost of a dog, named Greyfriars Bobby, who loyally stayed by his master's grave for 14 years, is said to wander the castle grounds. Visitors often feel a cold, wet nose nudging their hand, but when they turn around, there's no dog in sight. So, whether it's the spectral sounds of a long-lost piper, the sight of a headless drummer boy, or the pitiful cries of prisoners, Edinburgh Castle is a place where the past refuses to rest. Its spectral inhabitants continue to narrate their tales, forever entwined with the castle's history. Edinburgh Castle remains a haunting testament to Scotland's spectral past. We now fly to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, home to the eerie Mothmen. In the mid-20th century, this quiet town was sent into a frenzy by a series of unsettling encounters with a creature that would soon be dubbed the Mothman. Described as a large, humanoid figure with wings and piercing red eyes, the Mothman was first sighted by a group of grave diggers who claimed to see it soaring over the tree line. As weeks turned into months, more residents came forward with their own chilling accounts. The creature, they said, could fly at incredible speeds and emitted a high-pitched screech that sent shivers down their spines. Some even reported experiencing nightmares and psychological distress after their encounters, a phenomenon that only added to the growing fear and curiosity. Theories about the Mothman's origins are as varied as they are intriguing. Some believe it to be an alien, a product of a government experiment gone wrong, or even a prophetic creature signaling impending doom. One thing's for certain, the Mothman has left an indelible mark on Point Pleasant, inspiring everything from annual festivals to a dedicated museum. Despite the passage of time, the Mothman continues to capture the imagination of locals and cryptid enthusiasts alike. Sightings are still reported to this day, keeping the legend alive and the mystery unsolved. The Mothman continues to be a source of fear and fascination in West Virginia. Our final tale is a classic urban legend, the story of the babysitter and the man upstairs. In this chilling narrative, an unsuspecting babysitter is left alone to care for sleeping children in a quiet suburban home. As the night unfolds, the tranquility is shattered by a series of mysterious phone calls. The caller's voice is shrouded in a menacing silence, only to utter the haunting words, "Have you checked on the children?" As the calls persist, the babysitter's unease grows, the silence of the house becoming increasingly eerie. She contacts the local police, who promise to trace the next call. When the phone rings again, the chilling truth is revealed. The calls are coming from inside the house. The real terror begins as the babysitter realizes the danger is not an external threat, but one lurking within the very walls of the home. In a frantic race against time, the babysitter must protect the children from the ominous presence upstairs, the man who has been watching her all along. The suspense builds to a crescendo, leaving listeners on the edge of their seats, their hearts pounding with fear and anticipation. This urban legend continues to be a chilling reminder of the dangers that can lurk in the most familiar places. It's a tale that has haunted our collective nightmares for generations, a story that forces us to question our sense of safety and trust, reminding us that sometimes the most frightening monsters are those that hide in plain sight.